Hello guys, how are we all doing? Welcome back to another video. Today we are back with the Championship predictions and I'm joined by Harry. How you doing?
I feel a lot lighter-headed now that all this has come off. I'm feeling good about myself, mate. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. We've both had a fresh trim, looking good. Right, we're doing this just before Coventry play Rotherham on the Thursday, so we don't know the outcome of that one yet. But let's get into this anyway. We start with Friday night's games. We have Blackburn Rovers versus Derby County. Now both teams aren't mathematically safe yet, although I would say Derby are in the worst position. Derby's still at real risk of getting relegated. They've got 5 games to save themselves, and I think 2 wins should do them, maybe a win and a few draws. They need to try and get something here, and Blackburn aren't in good form. I'm gonna go for a 1-1 draw. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I was gonna say 1-1 because Blackburn are an absolute free fall, but I can't see them being beaten easily by Derby. Then again, I can't see Derby losing to Blackburn either. So yeah, it's 1-1.
Yeah.
Tight one.
Yeah, it's a tricky one to predict. We'll move on to the other Friday game. Reading and Cardiff City play each other. A few weeks ago I'd have thought these two would be right in that top 6, but they're quite far below it now. I think Reading have still got an outside chance, but Cardiff City, I don't think they'll make it anymore. But Reading really have to win this one, hope that other results go their way to get in there. Do you know what? I'm going to go for another 1-1 draw. Neither of these teams are really hitting any good form, so I'm going to say they'll play out a draw.
I think it's going to be 0-0 this one. Barnsley 5 points ahead of Reading in 6th place. Reading 5 points ahead of 7 points ahead of Cardiff. Yeah, I can't see this one being a thriller. Not really much to play for Cardiff. I think this might be 0-0, honestly.
Okay, all of the Saturday games seem to have been moved forwards. I believe it's because of Prince Philip's funeral in the afternoon. We start with a London derby between Brentford and Millwall Football Club. Now Brentford's still in that top 6, still doing well. I think they're going to be one of the teams to be scared of in the top 6. But who knows, they've still got a slight chance of trying to sneak in that top 2. Can they do it? They need to be flawless to make it. Up against the Millwall team that have been hit and miss every week. The last time they played, they lost 3-0 to Swansea, and I'm going to go for Brentford to win this 2-1.
Brentford have been quite inconsistent themselves at times, but I think they've got into the habit recently, particularly of trying to grind out wins when you wouldn't really think that they could, because they've not played the best. Millwall are a decent team. They'll be a stubborn opposition, but I think Brentford will manage to get themselves a 1-0 win.
1-0 win. Next up, Luton Town play Watford. Now this is actually a bit of a derby, and Luton Town not really playing for anything, so it'll be interesting to see how much they go for this one. Watford obviously still have a lot to play for. They need to just get those wins over the line. If they slip up in these kind of games, then they'll have to beat the likes of Swansea and Brentford in the final few games. So Watford need to win, but I'm going to go for another draw. I'm going to go for Luton to hold them. 1-1.
Oh, I think this is going to be one of those games where the team in the top will have their qualities shine through a little bit. Luton, a decent team, clearly not going to get relegated. I think they mathematically can't get relegated now. But Watford will really want to push as hard as they can to secure their 2nd place. I think that'll give them the edge a little bit. I think this is going to be 2-0 to Watford.
2-0 to Watford. Next up we go to a team where we're probably looking at 2 teams on the beach. Middlesbrough versus Queen's Park Rangers. Not a lot to play for anymore. Queen's Park Rangers did play in the week, obviously. They lost to Rotherham 3-1. And Middlesbrough, they're just pottering along, aren't they? Last time out they lost 2-0 to Barnsley. So I'm trying not to go for a draw. Let's say 2-1 to QPR.
QPR made a lot of changes in that game against Rotherham. I think a lot of those players will come back into the squad for this game. They're fighting really for league position now, because neither team are going to get anywhere near the playoffs at this stage of the season. I just think with the amount of players that QPR rested against Rotherham, they'll come into this a bit fitter, a bit fresher, and I think it'll give them the edge. 2-1. 2-1. Next up to the City Ground, Nottingham Forest take on Huddersfield Town. Now Forest, yeah, they're over the line in my opinion. I think they're safe. Chris Hughton's done a great job there. But as for Huddersfield Town, there's a lot to be worried about. They lost again in midweek to Bournemouth, and they're in bad form, aren't they? A few bad results put together and they're going to be right in there. Forest seem to be the form team, so I'm going to go for them. 2-0. Yeah, you look back at Forest at the start of the season, and you look back at them now, and it's hard to believe that they're in any real danger of getting relegated, which of course they were for a long time, hanging around in the drop zone. We look at the players that they've got, players like Glenn Murray, who came in January, and Joe Lolly, excellent players who have a real impact on the games that they play in. I think they'll have too much of Huddersfield, but I think it's only going to be 1-0.
1-0. Next up to Hillsborough. Sheffield Wednesday take on Bristol City. And Sheffield Wednesday, are they down now after that defeat against Swansea? It looks very, very close now, doesn't it? I just can't see. I think Sheffield Wednesday probably have to be flawless to stay up. That's what I will say. But this is probably a game that they wouldn't mind at this point in time, because Bristol City, not in great form and not a lot to play for. So I will give it to Sheffield Wednesday. I'm going to say 1-0, but they still have a lot to do to try and stay up.
I don't know. I feel like Bristol should have the edge on this one. Wednesday really look like they are going to be a League One team next season. That 6-point deduction really has done them dirty. Of course, it was 12 at the start of the season, but we'll never mind that. I think this is going to be tight because Bristol aren't fantastic right now. They really were at the start of the season, but they've really dropped off in the last couple of months. I reckon this is 1-1.
1-1. Next up, Stoke City take on Preston, and once again it feels like two teams not really playing for anything. I suppose we're at that point of the season where we will get a lot of that. Preston lost 5-0 to Brentford last time out, and do you know what? I think after that they really need to bounce back, and I'm going to actually back them to get a 1-0 win here.
I'd go the other way, 1-0 to their opponents. I can't remember who you said they were.
Stoke City.
Stoke, that's it. My memory today is shocking, by the way, lads. It's not. It really is poor. Yeah, I think Stoke will see their opponents having a 5-0 battering and will just go as hard as they can. They're playing for pride. There's a bit of money maybe on the line for league position if you can climb up a little bit. And I just think Preston are gutted about getting hammered and not really want to play too well. Or not really want to play, put as much effort in, is what I'm trying to get at. Yeah, I reckon 1-0.
Yeah.
To Stoke.
Yeah.
Make that clear. I know who it is.
Swansea City take on Wycombe Wanderers in the next game, and Swansea, it doesn't look like the top two is going to happen, does it? Despite that win, obviously, against Sheffield Wednesday in the week. And as for Wycombe Wanderers, that defeat to Luton looks to be the nail in the coffin for them. I just can't see a way of Wycombe staying up now. I mean, they're going to have to be flawless, and even that might not be enough. Swansea to win 2-0.
3-1 Swansea. I think it's got to the point now where Wycombe are experienced enough in this division to not count them off from scoring. But Swansea are just a good team. Players like Andre Ayew at their disposal. Is he still there?
Yeah, and Jamal Lowe, yeah.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Players like that against a team like Wycombe, no disrespect to Wycombe, but they shouldn't really ever look in this game. They might get one sneaky goal, but I think 3-1.
Yeah. Next up then to Carrow Road, where we could be looking at the first team to get promoted this season, Norwich playing Bournemouth, who also have a lot to play for. So this is a big game. But like I say, Norwich with a win here will mathematically be promoted. They could be promoted before this if Brentford and Swansea both slip up. But it'd be nice to do it themselves, wouldn't it? I think Norwich, I think they will win this game. I know Bournemouth have been good recently. They've had quite a few wins on the bounce, and I think it's 5 or 6 wins on the bounce, which is really impressive, but not against teams quite like Norwich. So I'm going to go for Norwich to win this game 2-0.
Yeah, Norwich are getting 100 points, aren't they? I think that's pretty clear. 5 games to go, 10 points they need. Yeah, 2-0 again to Norwich. They're just too good for this league. Let's see if they can do it in the Premier League next season.
Yeah, and now to the 2 games on the Sunday. We start with Rotherham versus Birmingham. Now, like I say, we're recording this just before Rotherham play Coventry, so this is tricky to predict from the situation we're in. And the reason we're recording it before is because the games are so tight that we're struggling to fit the recordings in between all the games.
We have got lives of our own, you know, guys.
Rotherham obviously playing so many games at the moment, and it's really hard to factor in that they're playing Tuesday, Thursday and Sunday this week. Birmingham City in good form, you know, and they haven't played at all this week up until now. I'm going to go for Rotherham 0, Birmingham 1, which would feel like Birmingham should be safe after that.
Yeah, I don't like following your scoreline predictions on these, but I think it's going to be 1-0 as well. Birmingham, very much a team on the ascension. If they get pasted by Coventry, if Rotherham get pasted by Coventry tomorrow night, it could be a different scoreline, but I don't think it's going to change the end result. I think it'll be a Birmingham win either way. Yeah, I say 1-0 to Birmingham.
And then the final game, my team, Coventry City, taking on Barnsley, which isn't particularly easy. I do feel more confident when we're at home, but you got to remember sometimes you are playing some of the best teams in the Championship, and Barnsley, you know, they're really solid. They're going to be in that top 6, aren't they? They just need a few more points to cement it, so they will come to Coventry trying to win. Oh God, this is hard to predict. Once again, we're recording this just before Coventry play Rotherham. I'm going to go... Do you know what? It was 0-0 at Oakwell. Let's go for a 0-0 at St Andrews.
This is one of the rare games at this point of the season that actually mean a lot to both sides. Barnsley obviously want the 3 points to try and pull away from the teams outside of the top 6. Coventry obviously want to pull away from the teams outside the bottom 3. We're at home. I don't think Barnsley have the quality that Bournemouth and Norwich and those teams do. I just think that they work so well as a team together that gets them results. And to be honest, when I watched them against Derby a couple of weeks ago, I know it was a while ago now, but against one of the bottom clubs in the division, where they were still, I think they were 5th at the time, I wasn't that impressed. I think Cov could snatch this if we play the right formation. 2-1.
2-1 to Cov, wow. That would be quite the result, but the Barnsley fans won't be happy with that, but we'll wait and see. Thanks for watching today's video, guys. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace out.